Caitlin Clark, we played them, and she almost dropped 50 points. That's besides the point. We won. I want to be the player that maybe tries my best to shut down the best players every night. So she's definitely one of the ones on that team. So
it's the ugly nonsense. It's the BS.
Disaster. What an embarrassing disaster for both ESPN and the WNBA.
What aspects of her game would you like to work with her on for this season?
Yeah, I mean, certainly getting stronger was one. The level of physicality in the W is totally different.
Just moments ago, the WNBA world was rocked by a bold and unexpected challenge. Rookie Saniya Rivers didn't just make a statement, she launched a full-on verbal assault aimed directly at Caitlin Clark.
Once again, Saniya Rivers, who's coming in from NC State, had to say about Caitlin Clark.
Let's go with Indiana. Why not? I tell the story every time. Caitlin Clark, we played them my sophomore year, and she almost dropped 50 points. That's besides the point. We won. So I always said we won. But no, I always said that I would love the opportunity to match up with her again, because I feel like my defense has grown since then and my confidence has grown. So I want to be the player that maybe tries my best to shut down the best players every night. So she's definitely one of the ones on that team. So I would love the opportunity to match up. Caitlin's going to be Caitlin. She's going to hit shots. But I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get in my head. I'm just going to keep stepping up, and I would love to slow her down a little bit.
She is now joining the Connecticut Sun.
In front of cameras, without being prompted, Rivers locked eyes with the lens and dropped the bomb. I want to shut her down.
It's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting, there was no nothing.
Right.
That narrative that got spun into, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, it's all bullshit.
No filters, no fear. And just like that, the rivalry was born.
There are PR people who request to not be asked about Caitlin Clark or to not talk about Caitlin.
But this isn't just a hot headline. It's a glimpse into something deeper, a growing wave of hostility, a pattern. Another name added to the list of players trying to come for the crown. What's driving this? Is it competition?
What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played.
Mm-hmm.
Or something far more personal? One thing is clear. Caitlin Clark isn't just the face of the WNBA. She's the lightning rod, the measuring stick.
And we got a long-term kind of list, but Caitlin, I remember from the very first day when we were working on balance and we were working on footwork and we were looking at all those things, from day one to day two, she had it.
Wow.
Like she's a perfectionist.
The one every rookie wants to beat to boost their own brand. And now Rivers is stepping into the spotlight, hoping to do just that. But let's get real. Clark didn't ask for this smoke.
Rivalries in the sense of Reese versus Clark on the basketball court. All of that stuff makes sports better.
She's been battling on the court, carrying her team, and reshaping women's basketball from day one.
That's all you can do is, hold your head high, be proud of what you did, and.
And instead of respect, she gets targeted, trashed, and now publicly called out by someone who hasn't even played a WNBA game yet.
Black players have decided, hey, we're going to hate on Caitlin Clark constantly to elevate ourselves, but also trigger her fans so that they'll keep coming to games and rooting for her, and it's going to elevate the entire league.
If you do go into a game with Clark and hold your own, or hell, get the best of her on that night, then that can really amplify your profile.
If you're rocking with Caitlin through the drama, the hate, the pressure, and still believe she's the future of the game, drop CC GOAT in the comments right now. Let the world know you ride with greatness. The cameras were rolling, the media was watching, and out of nowhere, Saniya Rivers made headlines that no one saw coming.
Let's go with Indiana. Why not? I tell the story every time. Caitlin Clark, we played them my sophomore year, and she almost dropped 50 points. That's besides the point. We won. So I always said we won. But no, I always said that I would love the opportunity to match up with her again, because I feel like my defense has grown since then and my confidence has grown. So I want to be the player that maybe tries my best to shut down the best players every night. So she's definitely one of the ones on that team. So I would love the opportunity to match up. Caitlin's going to be Caitlin. She's going to hit shots. But I'm not going to get, I'm not going to get in my head. I'm just going to keep stepping up, and I would love to slow her down a little bit.
When asked which team she's most excited to face, Rivers didn't hesitate. She didn't talk about veteran legends or powerhouse squads. She didn't even dance around the question. She looked dead into the camera and said, Indiana. And when pressed for a reason, her answer was just as direct. Because of Caitlin Clark.
She was remarkable on top of the fact that she had to deal with so much hate when she got to the WNBA.
Let that sink in. This wasn't about strategy. It wasn't about matchups. It was personal. Rivers brought up Clark completely unprompted and then made it crystal clear that her goal wasn't just to play against her. It was to shut her down. And if that wasn't loud enough, she followed it up with a line that instantly exploded across social media.
Give flowers to the legend. We're going to start Diana Taurasi. I'm going to bench Sabrina and cut Caitlin.
I ain't ducking the smoke. That's not just confidence. That's a declaration of war.
You know, we've played it before. I want to play again. I'm going to show her what I got right now. I ain't ducking the smoke.
And let's be honest, this wasn't some friendly competitive nod. This was a rookie with no WNBA minutes on her stat sheet, stepping into the spotlight by throwing shade at the league's biggest star.
Clark is going against Paige and Dejanay. ESPN today, when they were talking about Paige, one of them says, I think Paige will be a good player this year, but I'm not expecting a Caitlin-like impact, and that's an unfair bar to set. Dallas Wings using the promo poster of Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark to hype that game up.
It's the kind of attention-seeking move that speaks volumes about how much space Caitlin Clark takes up in the minds of her competition. She's not just a name, she's the name. And when you want the cameras on you, you say her name. But here's what makes it even more glaring. Caitlin didn't ask for this. She didn't start anything. She's not out here trash talking or hunting beef.
She is highly likable. I think that lends itself to her popularity is she comes across as somebody that's really just respectful, likable. There's other players out there that just don't come across that way.
Rivers chose to fire the first shot. No reporter baited her. No question led her down that path. She walked it herself, and in doing so, revealed something much bigger than a simple rivalry. She exposed a growing trend in the league, one where players use Clark as a stepping stone to build their own spotlight. And while Rivers is talking tough, Caitlin Clark is just doing what she's always done, letting her game speak louder than anyone else's words ever could.
This is what Stephanie White had to say.
Caitlin Clark, you have a generational talent. Sometimes that word is thrown around, but I think it's really fitting here. What aspects of her game would you like to work with her on for this season?
Yeah, I mean, certainly getting stronger was one. You know, the level of physicality in the W is totally different. You know, that's the way that teams have to try to keep her off balance, keeping a low center of gravity. You know, there are times where she plays a little bit upright, making sure core strength and her ability to move with time under tension and stay in a low center of gravity is important. You know, I think from just a straight basketball perspective, making sure that we help her diversify, you know, her finishing ability, diversify in the way that it's not predictable, to be able to be equal in terms of production and facilitation going right and left, to be able to have different types of finishing looks, whether it's, you know, crossbody finishes, whether it's floaters at the rim, whether it's quick floaters, long floaters, you know, Euros. You can't quite be as fundamentally predictable with as much athleticism, speed, quickness, and as much as the game plan is going to be geared toward her. And then I think the challenge for us as coaches is how do we get a rest when she's on the floor while she's playing, right? Like while she's on the floor. And some of that's going to be playing off ball, utilize her as a screener, getting her into action on the third and fourth side instead of the first and second, where it's easy to game plan against. Now, how we use her to help everybody else be better off the ball. We know how great she is with the ball in her hands. We're not going to take that away, but we've got to be able to diversify a bit in how we use her. So from those kind of challenges as well. I mean, we've got like a short-term kind of list and we got a long-term kind of list, but Caitlin, you know, I remember from the very first day when we were working on balance and we were working on footwork and we were looking at all those things from day one to day two, she had it.
Wow.
Like she's a perfectionist and she wants it and she's going to work on it. So that long list might get shorter every day we're in practice.
She's got a new coach who knows what to do.
There's a reason Caitlin Clark's name comes up unprovoked in interviews. A reason she's the center of every rivalry, every Twitter feud, every highlight reel. She's not just a player, she's a presence, a movement. And like it or not, Caitlin Clark is the standard now. Which means if you want to matter in the WNBA, you go through her. And that's exactly what's happening.
Michaela Timpson, who talked about joining the Indiana Fever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she reached out to me yesterday, and we always been talking, you know, and she told me like earlier last year that she wanted to play with me, and this was before she went to the Fever. So, I mean, I guess she's spoken into existence, you know, but yeah, we've been talking, and she's been giving me a lot of pointers, and I'm just super excited to be with someone who I know. Oh, yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, she's a great point guard. You know, she set the tone for the league last year. You know, she had an incredible rookie season, so I'm just excited to play with her.
Look around. Rookies, veterans, even players who haven't played a single WNBA minute are already circling her name on the calendar. Why? Because outperforming Caitlin isn't just a good game. It's a career move. It's a media moment. Just holding your own against her on a national stage can send your stock soaring. And if you manage to outshine her, that's headline gold. That's instant fame. Saniya Rivers knows that. And so do players like Angel Reese, Hailey Van Lith, Georgia Moore, and the rest of this rookie wave.
Hailey Van Lith and Angel Reese are set to rejoin forces on the court this summer.
Energy with Courtney Vandersloot. You can learn from her. You're paired back with Angel Reese. There's some good energy you can walk into in Chicago, right?
Oh, I love that energy. We're ready.
All right. Thank you so much.
They're not just looking to prove themselves, they're looking to do it at Caitlin's expense. They've seen the attention Clark commands. They've watched the arenas sell out when she's in town. They've witnessed the social media storm every time she touches the ball, and they want a piece of it. But here's the ugly truth. This obsession with Clark isn't just about basketball. It's layered with tension, narratives, and let's be real, jealousy. She's been targeted with hard fouls, baseless accusations, and even subtle racial jabs. People twist her popularity into something sinister. They question whether she's too celebrated, too promoted, or too protected, as if dominance should come with an apology.
There's so many players who cite you as an inspiration for their games, including Caitlin Clark, who's just absolutely a phenomenon in college. What's that next step like for her?
You know, next steps, gosh, in this generation, right? You have, I think, just so many more challenges of how to handle yourself as an adult, right? You go through that whirlwind of being a senior in college, transitioning into the W. And then the next step is how to become just an even better leader. And so much of leadership, I think, is listening and learning. And hopefully the more she can get connected to vets in the league and just different people and coaches and anyone that she can glean wisdom from of how to just continue to learn how to be as a connected and inspiring leader as she can be. And a lot of that is walking the walk and not just talking the talk. So she's already on her way, but you know, continuing to have fun, continuing to anticipate how people are going to try to stop her and being prepared as she can be for next season.
Let's be clear. Caitlin Clark earned her spotlight. She didn't inherit it. She shattered records, dragged Iowa to national relevance, and now she's doing the same for the Indiana Fever, sparking a 265% attendance increase and doubling WNBA viewership across the board. Yet while she's lifting the entire league, others are dragging her name to gain traction. And don't think this targeting is random. There are PR reps behind the scenes asking media to avoid bringing up Clark's name in interviews. Some players reportedly don't want to speak on her at all. That's how loaded her presence has become. Meanwhile, Caitlin just keeps showing up, smiling, competing, and rewriting what's possible for women's sports.
It almost felt like marketers were trying to figure out, like, yeah, we have all of these amazing players and these amazing personalities, but can we push the demographic? And then when Caitlin Clark got to the league, the Angel Reeses got to the league, and they might have been fouled hard. The same thing I saw happen with Shamika Holsclaw, though.
You see my tooth knocked out?
Yeah,
Rookie season, Jewel Lloyd. My tooth knocked out. I still didn't get it fixed.
So how do you?
It's cool.
T-Clark, how do you feel about the fact that all of a sudden it was, oh, it's too physical. Oh, they're going at them because they're stars. What was your reaction to some of the new viewers and fans to the game thinking that the WNBA was too rough?
It was a crazy season because we have never had so much momentum behind our league, so much support, demand, viewership, all that, accessibility. But the craziness that came with the new fandom was rooted in something other than fandom, right? And I think that's very evident to see across the board. In a lot of ways, it has not been about basketball. Like, we can talk about, you know, people getting fouled. I just showed you my tooth getting knocked out. Like, that's been a part of the game. The game has always been physical. I can tell you the amount of times I've left with bloody lips and eyes. I have bruises all over my body, even from the game last night. You can see bruises on my elbow from last night. Like, it's just a part of the game. So there was no targeting. There was no nothing. That narrative that got spun into, oh, the vets hate the rookies hate the vets are going after certain players. It's all bullshit. Like, if I'm just gonna be frank, like, it's all bullshit. What it is racism, right? It gets blown up into, oh, they're going after Caitlin Clark, but no, we're just playing one of the best players that's in this league the way that any other best player, franchise player is gonna get played. Watch how Stewie gets played. Watch how Asia gets played. Watch how Enrique gets played. Watch how Khalid gets played. Go down the list of franchise players for every team. They be getting fucked up every game. It don't matter what position you are, what color you are, what school you came out of. This is how we feed our families. Our job is to go and win. And if we don't win, what happens? We get fired. We lose our jobs. So
facts. Caitlin Clark is getting mauled, no calls. Ryan Clark is a clout chaser that stinks at sports commentary. His co-hosts aren't worth mentioning. Natasha Cloud, a.k.a. Natasha Clown, is running the race baiting media because she's average at best in the W, and now she's stuck in Connecticut because she stinks.
While others run their mouths, Caitlin Clark is running the league. She didn't respond to Saniya Rivers' jab. No tweets, no press conference clapbacks, no side-eye on Instagram, just silence. But that silence isn't weakness, it's focus. And that focus is what separates a momentary name from a generational icon. Caitlin doesn't waste time trading barbs with players who haven't earned her attention. Instead, she's putting in the work. Behind closed doors, under the guidance of new head coach Stephanie White,
Stephanie White will have different ideas on how to use Caitlin Clark, including putting her off ball at sometimes, so she can come around and give the defense a different look, maybe catch and shoot. And then, of course, you put the ball in her hands and let her cook.
Clark is leveling up in every way. Last season, she carried the Indiana Fever on her back, expected to run the offense, take the toughest shots, lead the team, and somehow survive the brutality that came with her name being the biggest in the sport. She had no rest, no protection, and no system designed to support her. But that's changing fast. Stephanie White isn't just another coach. She's the architect of a smarter, more sustainable future for Clark. She's shifting Caitlin's role in ways that make her even more dangerous. Less ball-dominant predictability, more off-ball movement, more catch-and-shoot threes, more screen and slash plays that let her read the floor and pick her spots. That's a nightmare for defenders. Now, instead of just guarding Clark on ball, they'll have to chase her all over the court through off-ball screens, in motion, tiring, frustrating, and nearly impossible to stop. And it's not just strategy, it's strength. Clark is bulking up, improving her core, lowering her center of gravity. She's developing that physical toughness WNBA defenders tried to exploit last season, working on Euro steps, floaters, and offhand finishes to avoid predictability. She's not just reacting anymore, she's evolving.
Most influential female athletes right now: Coco Gauff, 10, Juju Watkins, number 9, Cameron Brent, 8, Paige Beckers, number 7, Sabrina Ionescu, number 6, Asia Wilson. So Asia's not going to be happy either. Jakari Richardson was number 4, Simone Biles number 3 right here. I can't quite get past the fact that Simone Biles is behind Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number 1. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number 1. Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105% compared to games without her, while road games featuring her Indiana Fever see an 87% increase in opponent home attendance. Her rookie debut sparked a staggering 200% jump in WNBA viewership, while Fever home games drew a league-high 186,000 fans last season, a 265% increase from 2023.
And let's not overlook her mind. Caitlin Clark is a basketball genius. Her vision, IQ, and passing instincts are already elite. Last year, she led the league in assists as a rookie while being doubled and hit on nearly every possession. Think about that.
She shoots logo threes, passes the ball like Magic Johnson, scores a lot of points, leads the league in assists. She's a great, great player, and she plays and shoots and releases the ball like Steph Curry. So there's the attraction to the exciting style of play.
Despite being the most fouled, most targeted player on the floor, she still made her teammates better. That's not just skill, that's leadership. Meanwhile, she's now surrounded by stronger support. Players like Kelsey Mitchell, Nalissa Smith, and Natasha Howard. This isn't Clark versus the league anymore. It's Clark leading a true contender, one with speed, transition power, and depth. One where Clark doesn't have to do it all, but still can when it matters most. All of this, and yet the pressure on her shoulders hasn't eased. It's only grown. The target is bigger, the hate is louder, and still Caitlin shows up night after night, poised and fearless. She takes elbows to the face, flagrant fouls that get ignored, technical calls that shouldn't happen, and still gets up. She plays through the noise, through the agendas, through the attempts to rattle her. While others try to bait her into distractions, Caitlin just goes out and makes magic happen. She's the Steph Curry of the WNBA in the way she stretches defenses with her deep-range shooting. She's the Magic Johnson in the way she dishes the ball with flair and precision. And she's the Diana Taurasi in how she plays with heart, grit, and a fiery will to win. The greats don't talk about how great they are. They show it. And that's exactly what Clark is doing. The beauty of Caitlin's game isn't just in the highlight plays. It's in the way she handles being the face of a league that wasn't ready for her level of attention. It's in her refusal to sink to petty levels, no matter how many players try to pull her down. And it's in her constant evolution, her hunger to improve, to learn, to outwork everyone else. While Saniya Rivers is making headlines with her mouth, Caitlin Clark is rewriting them with her game. And that's the difference between someone chasing fame and someone who's already made history.
Rivalries in the sense of Reese versus Clark on the basketball court. All of that stuff makes sports better.
Saniya Rivers threw the first punch, but Caitlin Clark doesn't swing back with words. She answers with buckets, assists, and highlight reels that shut down all the noise. This isn't just a rivalry brewing. It's a warning shot to anyone thinking they can rattle the face of the league.
I think one thing that Clark doesn't get enough credit for is her athleticism. She's a freak athlete, the best guard finishing at the rim last year. I believe she finished at the rim better than Asia Wilson.
So let the media twist it. Let the critics talk. Caitlin will keep showing up, evolving and dominating, because that's what real greatness does. And now it's your turn. Drop CC GOAT in the comments if you're riding with Caitlin Clark through all the drama, the hate, and the history she's making. Let the world know you're not just watching the WNBA, you're watching the Clark era take over. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because this rivalry, oh, it's just getting started.